All right, Captain America Week 5 update. I finished like just today, finished off my potential. Uh, Not a huge difference here. I get like, up to, I'm up like 2% damage. I finished this buddy off, got 5% guard damage decrease. I was capped on guard damage decrease previously, so it's not a huge difference. Look at my specialization. I talked about this last week. Battle prep. I got that up to 10. It's good. It does make a huge difference. I wasn't sold on the 20% proc rate, but it's it's nice. It does proc, and when it does, I mean 30% damage is pretty substantial. Charisma, we talked about that. Obviously, you gotta have it. I did get this to 10. I don't know. For me, it does. I really don't see. I really don't see where I'm gonna use this a lot. Um, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It looks like a good skill, but most of my fights aren't decided by. I don't die a lot. I've got, of course, gotta take into account I have the huge health pool. Most of my, I'd say, like 80% of my fights are decided by who has more health at the end of the match. So, if and out of that 20% that someone dies, it's usually not me. So, this is, I think, for some people, this would make more sense. But for me, I just can't. I've maxed it. I would like to get more use out of it. I just doubt that I will. Um, Spot weakness. We we talked. I've talked before. The spot weakness and the bravery. Having both of them should give me 69% uh, multiplier. I'm not going to go back over the math on that again. Now, I will say, and you can see around, I don't know, like Wednesday, Thursday, I changed up my traits. I started running Vanguard instead of spot weakness. Now, the issue I was running into is my bleed wasn't always procking versus specifically against this one Doctor Strange. And I fought him. He's in queue all the time. I fight him a bunch of times. Not gonna lie, I tried changing things up to beat him. As it turns out, well, Strange has an ability where he gains immunity for it's like 14 seconds. So he doesn't get the bleed. So I kind of decided to pivot to the Vanguard. It's not a multiplier, it's just, adds more base attack. It's so that hits every attack. I get more base attack uh, stat, which is good. It's good. I I can't honestly sit here and tell you I notice a huge amount of difference in damage from when I take spot weakness off, or train changing spot weakness for Vanguard. I can't tell you I see a huge difference in damage output. Where it does, I can see a little bit of difference is those times where I do stack bleed and hand to hand and vibranium release. I'm losing out on that huge multiplier right there. But I think it kind of balances out with the damage all the time. Plus, you know, the someone I'm going up against. Once you get to the higher tiers, you see a lot of the same people over and over and over and over again. Um, so I fight Ogre, and guess what? He doesn't bleed. So that's one. If I run spot weakness, that's one wasted trait against him every time I face him. So I am kind of rethinking the strategy a little bit, but yeah, I continue go over what I did last week. All right, so these are the skills I was running. Um, did the heal with Volstagg. Because I took spot weakness off, I went ahead and ran the in indomitability. Sorry, I worked last night. Yeah, because it's more damage than without having the bleed proc. I like getting that 99. I got twice as much damage potential. Yeah, it's another 10-second cooldown. Um, it's just without that bleed, I'd rather get that extra like bit of a kill shot, if you will. So I have pretty well ran this skill. Uh, Most of my attacks. I've my Spider-Man build. I haven't changed at all. I've got the accuracy card on still. I really haven't changed anything. I did and I'm gonna say probably Sunday put together a double barrier build again. Like I took out because you can only run 3 presets, right? So I took out my PVE preset, the crit damage deal, and I went added a double barrier build. I got my barrier that I pop up, and then I got Ultron also. Um, I did this because there's certain like I game plan 4 people, and I've noticed other top players started to game plan for me. Momo specifically came out with a vengeance after I started beating up on he or him or her, whatever, whoever they are. Started beating up on them pretty regularly. They've uh, they come back with the vengeance. They're doing more damage now. They're running the increased damage skill that Captain Marvel has, and and it hurts. It hurts a little bit. Um, yeah, so as you can see, I'm getting pretty close to build. I'm not gonna go over my stats too much. They haven't changed hugely. I did play around with some stuff. I made some changes that I'm gonna try out for this week, and I'm instead of getting into them now, gonna recap them next week. But yeah, once you get the more min maxed you get, the harder it is to see, substantial increase. Like for me, the only huge amount of increase that I'm gonna see at this point is, re-rolling gear. And that's very expensive. Like I can see how some of these, like I've heard whales spent like 20,000 to get a full nano suit of special armor. You know, I've heard that. I didn't spend anywhere near that, but I'm starting to see like how just trying to re-roll stats that aren't perfect on your costumes. I'm starting to see how that can add up fast. Like it's not cheap, and if you do it the cheap way, it's gonna take forever. So you're pretty well stuck with, you know what you got, unless you want to pay the big bucks. So I will run down the list. Momo, yeah. So I think I went something like 166 wins, 100 losses. Um, so the crazy thing is, I was beating Momo fairly regularly toward the middle of the week. They adjusted, they started beating me. Ogre, I think I beat him twice, but he wins pretty regularly. He's a powerhouse, especially if he brings his damage skills. I just can't. It's just tough to hang with him. Strange is almost a direct counter to Cap. Steel is a beast. I'm just not. We've had some very close matches. I feel like I feel like I could win any match against him if I played it a little better. But we've had a bunch of close matches. Fugs, this dude, don't get me started on him. He is painful. He's annoying. He a lot of Spider-Men like to run, and that's fine because while they run, I can heal. I do very well with fighting the running brand of Spider-Man, especially the ones that don't do a lot of damage. Fugs is not that brand of Spider-Man. He does pretty decent amount of damage. He's got that mobility to get away when he needs to get away, but he also likes to press the attack, chase you down. He can be tough. NRG, he's another bum. Another bum Iron Man on, that OP character. There's a certain Iron Man build that is very, very difficult for, a Captain America to deal with. Um, I I have been using the Silence build versus Iron Man because I've asked some of the people I went up against, and I've been told it uh, pretty well can remove their cooldown buff. I I notice I feel like I noticed that to some degree. For like the standard guided missiles build, the other build, basically the two untargetable skill build, it's tough to beat. It's tough to even land damage on them. And Iron Man generally does enough damage, coupled with the fact that they're so hard to, like, Captain America doesn't have really great range. They're just tough. Iron Man is still probably, like, as a character, Iron Man's the only one I really worry about. Um, Widows can uh, Widows can play very well and beat you. It seems like just any Widow can, if they play a really good game, can beat me. Like, they do a lot of running anyway. It's just basically comes down to Widows playing keep away. If I can hit them a few times, I'm gonna win. If I if I don't get a few, if they don't, yeah, basically if I don't hit them more than they hit me, then duh, yeah, I'm gonna lose. So yeah, these guys. What I think I finished with. It's sad. I was up to 22,050 points on, like, Friday, like by like Friday at noon, and then, like, I lost like 200 of those points within 24 hours. I think I finished at 2100. I did change things a little bit to try to be more competitive with Ogre, um, and Steel, but it's they're tough. Like, these are guys that have been, well, Ogre's just a major kraken, but Momo, Captain, or Steel Squad, they've been those characters for a while. NRG been that for a while. They're pretty well set at what they're doing. So yeah, I guess it boils down to, I've got I'm to a degree I'm proud of my build because it's on you're talking about the top 5 people on New Stark City server that, you know they give me issues. You talking about Half Send, um, a handful of Iron Men. It's not even like yeah, there's one Iron Man build that's an issue that, but I mean, it still needs to be a decent Iron Man for them to be able to have a chance against me. But yeah, Half Send I haven't beat yet with Cap. Um, I've beaten some Iron Man, not Half Send. Who's the other? Hidari, the Storm. I I'm at the point where I split with her. Like, I think one video last week, we both stood still for there was like 20 seconds in the match. And why? Because nothing really matters but the last 20 seconds fighting her. Because she's got Volstagg and she does that bubble build where she's pretty well in the bubble the whole time. So, so yeah, it's just comes down to who can damage who at the end. We did tie one time, but yeah, I kind of split with her. Yeah, and the as far as Hydra server, we got Cinderella. He gets a couple wins on me. It's annoying, but he does. He switched to Spider Man. He, does the whole drop the Hulk and run around. And if I mess up and get caught by Hulk, chances are I'm probably gonna lose that match. If I stay away from Hulk and stay patient, chances are I'm gonna win. The problem is I'm not a very patient guy. I end up chasing Spider Man, and that's not that's not the strategy that is gonna win. As far as anyone else on Hydra server, there's no one that I face that is any challenge. Mostly because there's a lot of good players in endgame. Because I'm in endgame, I just don't face them. Um, yeah, this guy Kiger Kagar, however you say it, he was an Iron Man. You know, a lot of people noticed. He copied like almost 100%. Just copied my Iron Man build after I posted it. Uh, got a lot of wins with that. He rolled back to Black Widow, who everyone, anyone that knows about PvP knows Black Widow was always the better character anyway. But I guess he got some pointers somewhere. He put up a pretty decent score by uh, avoided most of Endgame by only being on when Endgame wasn't on. He This guy, I beat him. I was lagging pretty bad, but I still beat him because I was playing like I was playing on break at work. But yeah, he no challenge to me. So yeah, so long story short, my build, you're probably talking about 10 people in the game that I really that I really have a chance to lose against, or like have any substantial chance to lose against. Then you got probably another, probably 20 that, given the right combination of bad things that happen, that like can beat me. So on the one hand, that's really good. On the other hand, like I'm just not happy until I'm not gonna be happy until I can beat those those people like regularly. Anyway, yeah, I got some theories I'm gonna try out this week, and yeah, I'll let you know what works later.